you're going to want to lift the fiberglass body up off of this one. Hi everybody, and a warm welcome back to Maple Leaf Customs in Switzerland. I'm Andrew, and on the bench today is a 1:64 scale Matchbox Superfast Dodge Dragster. Mine's got a broken front grille. Looks like the upright support also serves as the roll bar, which is quite clever. Gonna lose the pink and the tampos. What I've got in mind is a tribute to Roland Leong's blue and white Hawaiian racer from back in the day when I was watching ABC's Wide World of Sports as a kid. Comment below if you remember Jim McKay's voiceover in this classic opening reel from 1970 with Yugoslavian ski jumper Vinko Bogataj defining the agony of defeat for a whole generation.
Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. The human drama of athletic competition. This is ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Oh, Saturday afternoons in the 70s. That's where I first saw Roland Leong racing his Hawaiian car, and this one's pretty close, as it's a Charger. This casting debuted in the Matchbox 1:75 series as number MB70 and was produced from 1972 to 1976. I call this style of car with the tilt-up fiberglass body a funny car because the engine is in front of the driver as opposed to a dragster which places it behind the driver. So either Matchbox got the name wrong or I'm all mixed up, which is always a strong possibility. Help me out in the comments with the correct nomenclature. I'm thinking I'll leave this rear hinged piece alone. That's what lifts up the fiberglass body, and the less disassembly, the better. It's a little more complicated than the basic die-cast car. It's a metal base. There's the hinge piece. I'll leave that alone. There's a plastic interior. It's all chromed up, so I'll take care of that. Those are the original wheels. They're not bad, but I can do better. So, for safekeeping, everything's into the bin. It's about a week-long project, usually, to get these cars done. After disassembly, you gotta take care of the paint with some heavy stripper. Goodbye to the pink and the snake on the side. A little bit of attention with an abrasive wheel on my rotary tool. I'm looking for casting lines or any burrs or flashing. This one was cast pretty truly, so there's not going to be too much in the way of fix-up or repairs on the body. Notice there's no shot lines for the doors on this one. Matchbox. How do you get in and out? If you follow Maple Leaf Customs, you know that you can expect regularly updated content, most often on Saturdays at the same time. These are a couple of the cars and special events that I'll be featuring over the next few weeks. If you like this video, I'd sure appreciate a thumbs up, and why not become a subscriber? It's totally free, and that would really help me out a lot. Thanks. I happen to have the perfect color match paint in this Vallejo Basic Blue. I like Vallejo paints because you can put them right into your airbrush. Sometimes I add a little bit of thinner. This is my old cheapo airbrush from Amazon that I've been using for 5 years, but coming up soon I'm going to be doing some gallery airbrush unboxing, testing, and honest review videos. They've been very kind to become a new sponsor of my channel. More info to come soon. Today's community shoutout goes to the YouTube channel 4-Wheel Jive, where you're going to see a plethora of almost exclusively heavy-duty 4-wheel drive off-road vehicles. Check out the link I left in the description. When I'm working on a real-life car like this, one thing that I try to do well is an accurate replication of the decals, and that's challenging in a 1:64 scale. But there's lots of info online. Google Images always helps tremendously, so I search those files, print them out, and then I make my own decals. This roof one was particularly challenging because of those darts or arrows that go down the side pillars like that. But I think I've nailed it. You see, I start with ghost white decals, and I'm actually going to go over these again and put a second one on top just to make it more opaque. And now for the Hawaiian theme with all the sponsors. So small, but if you get up really close, I promise you can read them. When these fresh decals are dry the next day, then I'll trim the wheel wells, but not when they're wet. Couple of colored logos go over top of the ghost white base. Accurate to the original, and they look good. Now to turn my attention to this broken plastic grille on the front. I designed and 3D printed my own based on a Dodge grille. So I have to clip off the remainder of the old one, give that a little trim to clean it up, and then I'm going to dechrome this. I just use basic oven cleaner, barbecue cleaner, and spritz it on there. In about an hour, it's down to the plastic. In this case, it's black. I can put that in the spray booth and give it the same Vallejo basic blue treatment to match the body. According to my wiki research, Roland Leong was an American drag racer from Honolulu whose Hawaiian brand cars achieved many victories. His Top Fuel dragsters swept the National Hot Rod Association's 2 national events, the Winternationals at the Pomona Fairgrounds and the U.S. Nationals in Indianapolis 2 years consecutively in 1965 and again in 1966. This feat by Leong's entries was accomplished with 2 different drivers, Don the Snake Prudhomme in 65 and Mike Snively in 1966. The next year, Leong failed to three-peat at Pomona or Indianapolis, but he did triumph at 2 popular independent drag races, the notoriously fierce March Meet in Bakersfield and the Hot Rod Magazine Championships in Riverside, California. As accurate as I tried to be with the exterior decals on the fiberglass body, I find I've got to freelance a little bit with the chrome interior. So I did the seat black. The exhaust pipes, as per Google Images, are black. The rest is up to my imagination. Here's a beautiful set of dragster tires from Sam Ed Wheels. I use a resin pen to affix them to the metal chassis, although I don't have to because the interior is going to hold these in place, but this helps prevent what we call floating. It's a beautiful roller. You can visit Sam Ed Wheels at any of these online locations and be sure to use the promo code MAPLELEAF when you make your next order to get a free bonus gift. The cleaned up and repainted metal chassis now receives the partially restored and customized interior. And I thought I'd take the extra step and wire the engine because it's exposed when the body is lifted up. So I've taken some of my very finest wire and braided it. Drilled a couple of holes in the side and it looks like that. It's going to show up nicely when you lift the body. The safety harness is a must in a funny car, so I print these on paper. It's not a decal. And I use a little bit of Mod Podge first on the seat as a base. Then I just squish that in and cover it liberally. It doesn't wrinkle or fade or run. Here it is all wet. There it is dry. It's an important feature and it's easy to do. Back to my grille. It's 3D printed and I've got a couple of rhinestones for lights. Now they're glued in place. That'll be one of the last things that I install. Now for the windshield and the support posts or the roll cage. It's back in place perfectly. And I'm almost finished. Trying to decide whether the grille should be glued to the chassis or the lift-up body. I've seen both done online. Well, let's have a closer look to see what I did. You know, that's pretty close to the real deal. Fueled by coffee, I had an extra burst of energy, and I added a drag chute on the back, as well as some wheelie bars. I lighted the taillights, channel logo on the bottom, and the grille is now part of the chassis. I added a fire extinguisher too. You can see the fully wired engine and the driver's safety harness. Pretty cool that Sam Ed Wheels provides dragster tires. I've got everything. There's the original all pink and snaked up and broken dragster, as Matchbox called it. Wonky tires, what a mess. And this is my finished Roland Leong Hawaiian funny car tribute. I think it came out absolutely great. I love the decals and the accuracy of them. The paint scheme was easy to do, and it's glistening under my little garage diorama lights. Sadly, it's not kid-friendly because of all of the pieces that can be broken off, so it's destined to be a dust collector on a shelf somewhere around here. Thanks for visiting Maple Leaf Customs again today. I sure appreciate it. Come on back soon and often. It's coffee time.